the behavior of managers. Learn about emotional intelligence from the industry mentor, Mr. Madhya sir, resource person Nimhans, and visiting faculty at IHMR Bangalore. Sir, I welcome you to this session and request you to take over it.
Thank you, Joyce.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Very much. Okay. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
Students, request you to
Good morning, sir.
your audio on.
Good morning, sir.
Audible with video.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Nice to see you all. I think this is the first meeting. So welcome you all to IHMR Bangalore.
Thank you,
So,
sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I feel very thrilled and grateful to talk to you all. It's the first meeting. And we have a very, very important topic to discuss today. So I would like this session to be interactive rather than just one way, dumping. I'll go slide by slide with this emotional intelligence. I've prepared some notes on it. I think you will definitely enjoy it because I've also made some humorous sort of clippings so that you can all through you can experience it. So one request to all the participants, as I am talking, so please relate to your own experiences. Don't listen only to the intellectual level. Also apply to your life. And whatever I say, immediately connect to your life experiences so that learning will be very strong. Okay, I will share the PPT. I'll start with the PPT. And now, once it is getting ready, and I would like to ask a couple of you, or one or two of you, to share what is emotion? How do you define emotion? Any one or two of you, please quickly respond. What do you think is the emotion? Hello? No response?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Please go ahead.
Sir, I guess emotion is a strong feelings
Okay. What is the feeling then?
or something. For some anything, it can be the feeling.
Okay. Yeah, the feelings and the emotion both are the same or different?
Yes, sir. Emotions are the feeling that comes as a stimuli according to the situations.
According to the situation, whatever happens to us and our
Yes, sir.
expression, that you call it as an emotion. Yes. That's what it is. Good. Okay, now we are going to talk about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence plays a greater role in our life, much more than IQ, intelligent quotient. Emotional intelligence will have a greater impact on our life. So whether we are successful or not successful in our lives is dependent more on emotional intelligence rather than the school and college marks we get. And now, it's visible now?
Sir, actually, screen is not visible. I have your, I think, laptop.
Okay, PPT is not visible.
No, sir. No, sir. Maybe you can click on emotional intelligence.
Yeah,
Have.
emotional intelligence. Is the slide is not visible?
No, sir.
I'll quickly share it.
Yes, sir. No problem.
Now it is visible, sir.
Now it's visible?
Good to
Yes,
go,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Slide shock. From the beginning. Now it's visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's emotional intelligence. And now we don't talk much about emotional intelligence. We only talk about cognitive intelligence. When we score high marks in the school and colleges and somebody is good in maths, excellent in logical thinking, we say, wow, they are highly intelligent, intellectual people. But that doesn't mean that the intellectual people, intellectuality alone will help us to be successful in life unless we have the emotional intelligence. So it's very difficult to make a success in life. And now emotion in terms of definition, E in motion, energy in motion. And now whatever energy we see in the environment, in the nature, all types of energy is also there inside us. Now, for example, chemical energy in the hormones, electrical energy through the neurons, physical energy through muscular actions. All energy, types of energy we have. And when the emotion is there, this energy starts moving. Now, for example, when we get angry, our fist becomes very, very stiff and our voice becomes very hoarse. And like that, so energy goes in motion, and that is the emotion. It's otherwise called also churning. Churning takes place inside our body. So unlike the intelligence, the emotion doesn't come through our conscious efforts. It arises spontaneously, depending upon what environment we are in and what situation we are facing in. And many psychologists have listed nearly 100 words to describe our emotions. It's so rich. But commonly we talk about 8 to 10 emotions every day. So that is very popular to everybody. But if you go a little bit deeper into it, there are many, many words to express our emotions. And the wonderful expression on our face, at least 42 muscles. So we will express through our muscles in the facial muscles. And it is an excellent source of information. If we can understand our emotion, it gives us the information as to what is happening to us, what is in the environment. So we get both the knowledge. That is a good source of information. So that's why we need to work with the emotions. And why we need to study emotions? Because it has 3 major impacts on our life. One is that on the cognition, the way we think, the memory, the judgment, the rational, all that is cognitive domain of the human beings. And now, for example, when we are angry, we think differently. When we are sad, we think differently. And now it affects on our thinking. On our thinking, memory, judgment, rational, all that it affects. The second one is our behavior it affects. And our success in this society depends upon also our behavior. And the people will either take us or reject us mainly based on our emotion. And it will impact our behavior also. We behave differently when we have different emotions. And the most importantly, physiological impact. Almost every part of our body gets affected, either positively or negatively, depending upon what emotions we have. And now, repeatedly, the science has proved, the research has proved that all those people who go to the physician, to a doctor, at least 80% of them, 80 to 85% of them have that emotional issues. So depending upon what emotions they have, and the sickness gets aggravated. And the emotional healing will take place once we start managing our emotions. And that is why even to maintain our good health and emotional balance, emotional management, emotional intelligence is very much important. And now I would like to go this way. And if you look at the powers, we need to have look at only 3 powers with us, which the nature has given us. And one power is thinking. If we think positively, so we will go positive. And that is why the philosophers have said, we become what we think, or we are what we think. And our thinking matters a lot. And our movement or motivation or dullness or aspiration all depends upon the thinking. And then emotion also, the way we feel, the way we emote. And that is another power. So we can change the environment through our emotion. We can also destroy the emotion through our emotion. And that is why that is another power. The third one is our action, the way we behave. All 3 of these are highly interlinked, highly connected. If you think negatively, our emotion also will be negative, our action also will be negative. So somewhere in one of these three energies, so we have to focus. You can pick up either emotion or act or thinking. You start positively in one note, the other two gets, keeps in a line. And now that is why, so let us look at these three.
Sir,
And yeah,
sir, sorry
yes.
to interrupt. Maybe I request you to click on the second slide, sir. It is in the first slide.
Second slide,
Yes.
this one.
You are in the, yeah.
Second slide, this one.
No, sir, it is not changed. Is it changed for others? Students,
This
please.
one.
Apparently, I guess the presentation is in the first page itself. It's not being put into a slideshow. Yeah,
Yes,
now
sir. Now it
yeah.
is working. Yes. Yes, sir.
Now it is coming.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now it's flowing. Okay. Thank you. And now, so that is why there are three types of impact. I think these are only three domains we are operating: our physiology, or behavior, or cognition. If you can manage these three, we can become fully human beings and very strong human beings. And that's why emotion becomes very, very important. These three powers I've already explained: thinking, feeling, and acting. All three are interconnected. And now, if you have positive thinking, so our emotion also will be positive and action also will be positive. If it is negative, then other two becomes very quickly, they also become very negative. And so you can look at the evolution of the brain. So according to Darwin's theory of evolution, in the initial stage, we had only reptilian brain. All those reptilians, snakes and crocodiles and all that, they have only reptilian brain. Reptilian brain means instinctive brain. It operates instinctively. So it operates only for its survival. Anybody, human beings have got repeated, reactive action. They are predominantly operating from this reptile brain. And then as and when the evolution took place, the midbrain started evolving. The midbrain, that is a feeling brain, emotion brain. And so that is at the apex, at the top of our spinal cord. And that is where the emotional center exists. And now, so only the mammalian, and the mammalian started now evolving. At that time, the midbrain also started evolving. So we come to the present day evolution, the topmost human beings in the evolution creature. So neocortex, that is the computer brain. So the computer brain, you can see that brain is folded. That is mainly to accommodate more neurons in the brain. We have more neurons compared to any other humans, any other living creatures on this earth. And that is why we have a memory or rational or judgment is much superior compared to any other animals. And now, so people who are very instinctive, more predominantly instinctive, or very dominant in their survival need. And then those who are emotive, they're very dominant in the midbrain. And the people who only work logically and they only intellectually operate, and they're the creative brain. So since we have all these three, now somehow we had to start integrating all these three. Now, for example, so how to do it? If you are instinctive and you do not know that instinctive, you're getting angry, you're getting sad, you're getting frustrated. So once you start thinking about it, once emotion becomes, you become aware of your emotion. So which means, so you are working at your expert. So that emotion, which is being experienced in the midbrain, neocortex connect. So all these three are automatically connected. And that is why if we start working on the emotional intelligence, so we can control better. So with our, the functioning of the brain. And now mainly, so this emotional brain, see how quickly it operates. It operates within 2 milliseconds, it processes information very fast. It's mainly because so emotion helps us to survive in the nature. Any emergency is there, we quickly process it without it comes to our knowledge, we process the information. But the rational brain is not like that. It takes a longer time to make a decision. And this is why rational brain helps us to make sound decisions, and the emotional brain makes us to make a quick decision. Which one do you think is important? Is it a quick decision or a sound decision?
Sound decision.
Sound decision. Okay, sound decision means long-term decision. They have to think elaborately, think of the resources, whether it is good for me or not, whether do I have resource and all that. It takes longer time. But emergency, we need to have quick decisions sometimes. If there is some emergency, we can't be thinking rationally. For example, if some person is very, very serious, met with an accident, you won't think of which hospital is bad, where do we go, who is the good doctor, where the cost will be less and all that. So there is no time to think all that. So immediately make a decision. What is it's immediately available now rescue hospital, and that's where we take them. That is the emotional decision. Now sometimes we make an emotional decision in the place of sound decision. For example, the love affairs usually which takes place sometimes. So look at a person emotionally, you get healed and get trapped, and we make a decision, and I will start loving the person, without knowing in the long term whether this is going to help us or not, whether the person is suitable, and which means to make certain decisions like career, deciding to get married, deciding to take a profession, and the lifestyle we would like to adopt, all this requires a rational brain. So emergency, so we need to operate at an emotional brain, quick decisions. Both are important. We have to balance it both, depending upon the situation. And now, so this is a beautiful MRI scan of 3-year-old children. The first one is the MRI scan of a child who has an emotional comfort and the normal upbringing with the protection of the parents, emotional nurturing and all that. The right side one, which is shrunken one, and that is the MRI scan of a child who is neglected most in this emotional caring. And actually brain also sinks. And that time the person, when they grow up as adults, they will have lots of inhibitions, lots of fear, lots of, they will not be able to make good decisions in a mature way, and also face challenges in life. They find it very, very difficult. So those are the emotionally not nurtured people will have much, much more challenges in life later on. That is why in the upbringing of children, it is very, very important to give the emotional nurturing of the child. And now, for example, we ourselves did not get enough nurturing. So which means we have to now take responsibility to work on our emotions and understand our emotions. And that is what is the purpose of this session, is how we become emotionally intelligent. And we will look at this. And now, as I was telling you, energy. This is one of the basic understanding of each emotion will create different hormones, produce different hormones in our body. Now, for example, in anxiety, little bit of dopamine is there, serotonin, oxytocin is not there. Dopamine is a motivation, urge, thrill hormone. Serotonin is a happy hormone. Oxytocin is a love hormone. Now, see, for example, where this love, all these three are full. So that is why when children or adults get a loving environment, understanding environment, all the hormones will be full and we function very efficiently and effectively. And the serotonin hormone is high. So please remember this. And now later on, so our health issues and all the problem, I'll connect with this. And now once your emotions are very low, at that time, your hormones also go. Depending upon what emotions you have, different hormone gets secreted and we will have health consequences. And these are only 3 examples. Like this, there are hundreds of hormones in our body. Hormone is one, the other one is neurotransmitter, that chemical which goes from one neuron to the another neuron for communication. There are 2 things which will always be changing depending upon what emotions we have. Okay, so now, for example, when there is a stress means, so there are lots of things we want in the world. Mind wants many things. We want a good job, good salary, good placement, good car, all that we want, many things we want, but our capacity is very low. So in between this, there is a gap. Now we always have a gap. Sometimes, when we keep on getting what we want, we keep aspiring for higher things. So the gap will be there. And now the higher the gap, there will be more stress. The bigger the gap, the more stress. The smaller the gap, there will be less stress. So if we keep on this gap smaller, we will have very less stress. Stress also gives him lots of other implications. I'll come to that. Emotions and stress will go together. So because without understanding the emotion, we can't understand the stress. So once we understand the emotions, we can also understand the stress very well. Now, for example, here in this drawing, you can see a snake is chasing a person, and that person is running away. So which means he suddenly got an emotion of getting a fear of death, and he starts running. At that time, cortisol gets produced. So whenever you are in angry, fear, frustration, you're fighting the world, fighting your enemy, upset with somebody else, you want to protect yourself. So this snake symbolizes that environment, threatful environment, unhappy environment. At that time, our cortisol in the body gets, pumped up. So whenever the cortisol gets pumped up, our serotonin, the happy hormone, gets depleted. It goes down. So when the happy hormone is less, cortisol is very high, there will be implications on our physiology, our heart function, our blood. So everything it will have implication. Now, for example, this danger will always be there. This threat will be there in the society, whether in the family or outside. The small threats are okay. So once in a while, it's okay. And then, so after the threat is over, the sympathetic nerve takes over, which means we rest and so digest everything and relax. At that time, cortisol goes down when we relax and serotonin gets produced. And now if we keep this balance, so we can manage the stress. If we don't keep this balance, so if we have anxiety, if we have fear, if we're angry, most of the time, so which means we definitely collapse due to the high level of cortisol in the body. And now, so when there is less cortisol, so serotonin actually goes up. Less cortisol means when you are relaxed, when you're happy, when you're humorous, all that I'll come in later in the slides. And then, so there is acute and short-term versus the long-term stress will be there. Short-term means some emergencies takes place here and now and met with an accident, or some dangerous things comes in. It's an acute one. Chronic means every day we keep having the same problem. We keep thinking about it. Our survival is threatened, our dignity is threatened. At that time, so it gets converted into a long-term chronic stress. And now the present days, modern days problem is this chronic stress. People sometimes who are earning very high, 3 lakh, 4 lakh rupee a month, even those people have lots of stress. So because of this long-term chronic stress, lack of meaning in life and lots of pressure in the work, lots of achievement pressure, goal pressure. So they become chronic stress. And now, when we are stressed out, cortisol rises. And the cortisol rises all these parts of the body. Heartbeat goes very high, breathing goes very fast, and our brain functions very sharp. We get in all the memories, suddenly it comes in. And then our nerves and muscles have to function so much more than the normal function. So they need more energy. So where do they get more energy? So they get more energy. Somebody has to save, and some other people can spend it more. In the same way, all these parts of the body, like digestive system, liver, our immunity, or kidneys, or pancreas, they will go slow in their function, which means they become sluggish. To save the energy, to give to these other parts, which I'm showing at the top, and they consume lots of energy. So once these parts go sluggish and slow, so that becomes a chronic thing. It is repeated, it becomes chronic. And that is how we have these modern problems of heart problem, diabetes, and all that. So mainly because of this acute stress. It is due to lack of emotional intelligence and lack of emotional management. And now, so emotions have also got energy. They also got vibrations. Now, for example, guilt, humiliation, they have only about 20 20 points of vibration levels. Fear, pride, courage, it goes rising now. And now, so up to 175, I have put a flower bracket there. And these are the lower levels of vibrations. This is the time we fall sick. This is the time we don't have energy. We don't operate. We don't get motivation. So higher up, 300 and above. So the more you go higher up, for example, love and reverence, 500, peace, bliss, so enlightenment, 700 to 1000. So vibration levels. So that is the time we'll be very, very, very calm, and all our energy comes focused in a concentrated way. But understanding this, and now let us look at this. So the 200 and above, if you have a energy level of 200 above, which means you are operating from the power within you. You don't require external force. You don't require somebody to promote you, somebody to give you prizes or chocolates to do your work. So you take the power within you with your own volition, with your own interest, you will be operating. The force means if you have a lower level of energy, people have to force you. They have to threaten you. They will suspend you, will cut your salary. So otherwise we'll beat you like that. And now the lower level energy people operate only when there is an external force. They become subservient to the other people. The beauty of this is, now for example, majority of the people operate from 250 and below. So which means, so that is why lots of rules, lots of regulations, and we have in our society to control people. To control and manage is a bad thing. And now people are working on their own interest, volition, self-motivation, that is the good thing to do. And now, for example, you should reach at least 500 level. At this point of time, the pain and stress melts away. You won't have any pain. You don't have a stress. Even if you overwork, you will not have a pain and a stress. And now, so you can take a grip of it. The peace, joy, and love, you will enjoy it, and you will create such an environment wherever you go. And then higher up you go in the authority. For example, you all come and do the management course and you become managers, top level people, or CEOs, or whatever. Higher up you go in your hierarchy ladder, your authority ladder, and you've got more responsibilities in the society, which means you have to go higher in your energy level. You can't afford to be at a lower level, like for example, fear 100, pride 175, and become a chief executive. When you have pride for yourself, you have operate only at 175. So vibration level, so you will not be able to hold that position, higher position in a peaceful way. That position becomes a stressful thing because you will not have energy, frequency to match with your roles and challenges. And that's why it's very, very important. So I will also in this future slides, I will also show you how to enhance this energy level, what are the different ways and approaches. And now this is another one, mapping, emotional mapping. Each emotions so now become very sensitive in some body. Now, for example, in happiness, entire body is totally become sensitive, very sensitive, you are alert and you are so. Now, for example, when you are envy, in the enviness, the total body except the head becomes very, very insensitive. And these are the parts of the body, they become sick later on. And now this was drawn by asking people during different emotions, where do they feel more sensitive in their body? And then thousands of people they have interviewed and made this map with the graphics. And now in the same way, so when you are sad, when you're depressed, when you're neutral, when you're contempt, that times our energy level is also low, our sensitivity is also low. So when you're in love, when you're love in the sense, not necessarily boy and a girl or a husband, a mother and a child, love of your job, love of the world, love of the earth, whatever you do, love of your work. And that sort of a love will also give you lots of, body relaxation and your sensitivity. And now come to the emotional intelligence. So what is emotional intelligence? Can somebody quickly tell me, what do you understand by emotional intelligence? One or two of you, please put the mic on and then share. What do you think is Emotional intelligence.
Sir, emotional intelligence is the way we react to the emotions that comes to according to the situations, the way we handle them.
Way we handle. That's one part. You shared
The
one part. Is there anything
amount of
else?
energy we put into that situation.
Good.
Like
Okay.
if we are sad, we have to manage that. We are not
Okay.
supposed to
Okay.
be insensitive to all the situations. We
Okay.
need to
Good.
manage
So
and
that's
handle.
one part. Okay. Managing the situation, managing your emotion is one part. What else is there? Is there anything else?
Anything.
Okay, good. Thank you for your response. That is one part. It's a very predominant major part you shared. And the other, and now to manage yourself. For example, this window you can take. There are 4 parts in this window. The first level is the self window. This left side 2 boxes represents the self. So in the left side corner top is the awareness, and then the self-awareness of your emotion. And then without we being aware of our emotion, we can't manage. We must know we are getting angry. Only then we get a control of it. So we know whether to use the anger or not to use the anger right now. And now awareness comes first, self-awareness. Only the self-awareness we can manage ourselves. Just now you're telling that when we are sad, when we are depressed, whatever, at that time we can't allow ourselves to get hooked into it and efficiently managing the situation. That is self-management. Okay, so the first comes self-awareness. Awareness means, so you have an emotion in the amygdala, that is the midbrain, and then you connect it to the neocortex, that new brain, cognitive brain. So you understand your emotion. So which means both these get connected. And for example, in an environment, you're threatened, you feel frightened. So there is an instigating brain, instinctive brain. So all 3 gets connected and work cohesively. So which means you're able to manage the situation, self-management. I'm just telling a general theory. We'll come to it specifically with 1 or 2 examples of managing emotions. The second part is also very, very important, especially for the managers, especially for the people who are going to have a leadership position, the others part. So, because we are not ourselves in isolation, we are also living with others. Whether in the family or in a friend circle or in a work environment, there are many other people along with us. So unless we also understand their emotions, so once we are aware of others' emotions, so we become socially aware. Social awareness will rise. Then how do you understand the emotions of others? Can somebody tell me 1 or 2 quickly? We know our emotions, but how do you understand the others' emotions?
The way we react. Right.
Hello?
I guess, sir, the basic emotions, which like the 7 basic emotions, is characterized by the facial expression of a person. So
Okay.
though we can't completely rely on how people, come up with their facial reactions, because some
Okay.
people can fake it, but it can be one of the factors for us to understand what emotions they are going through.
Okay. Very good. Very good. That's one. Facial expression, body language, the way we move our arms and legs, and the voice, the eyes, almost everything. So these are called, indicators. The body indicators, the voice indicators, the behavioral indicators. We observe that. Even the animals have this. For example, if 2 dogs are fighting, so one will go on a roaring thing over the other, especially when the other dog approaches somebody else's boundary and it chases. Once it crosses this boundary, so then that becomes very ferocious, which means it understands the emotions of other animal. In the same way, humans are much, much more, they have a much, much more faculty to understand the emotions of others through looking at the voice, the eyes, the face, the body, whether we are sulking our body or going with prideness or going with egoistic, all that is expressed. Emotion cannot be hidden. So, okay, only thoughts can be hidden. Emotions cannot be hidden. Body cannot tell a lie. So we have to have a keen observation of the environment and keep understanding other people. Once we know obviously what is the status of their emotion, have an empathy, and through the empathy, you know how to relate with them, whether to relate or not relate at all, and how much to relate, how to talk, how to change their emotions, how to influence changing their emotions. So which means the relationship management. Unless we have a good relationship management, we will not be successful in society, whether it is home or in the workplace. Workplace, it becomes much, much more challenging because there are humpty number of people, diverse experiences, diverse intelligence, and diverse emotional setup and egoistic setup, personality, different personality setup. So it becomes a very highly complex thing. And we need to understand, have that social awareness about the people in our environment. Only then we can relate with them. So by practice, one can become excellent. People who are not with a very good relationship management, they have to work only with computers or in the laboratory, only with the material. So people who are good at management relations, then they can go higher up in the social ladder and the responsibility positions. Okay, so one is interrelated to the other. It flows like this. You have a self-awareness, management better. So just as you have a self-awareness, use your own parameters to understand you, to understand others. If somebody is doing some facial expressions, if you do the same facial expressions, what does it mean? What is the emotion? To understand them through a mirror reflection, understanding. And then social awareness, self-management, you combine that, you have a better relationship management. This is what is emotional intelligence. And there is a question, you can get into Google search, emotional quotient, you can answer. There are about 12 questions. And then you will know what is your own emotional status. I would have used it if it was an offline class, given you a questionnaire and used it. Otherwise, you get into it. Or when you come to the institute, we will do it now physically. If you are interested, so you can do that. So remember these 4 parameters of emotionally intelligent people's in a domain: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Social awareness only in the context of the understanding of other emotions of other people. Okay, so now remember this. And now, if you do not have this, you will definitely have social problems. Either in the office, even if you come as a student, if you don't understand other classmates and connect with their emotions or disconnect with their emotions, definitely you'll have problems with in the classes also, and at home also. Okay, this is another very, very important slide, and to understand all our emotions in a nutshell. And this will also help you to understand the mental health status of ourselves and the society at large. And now this arrow mark, which is going up, take that as a, so can you see the top one? And can you see what is written there? Arousal. We always have arousal. Arousal means we get hooked up. Now, for example, if you get a rank or a first class, good marks, success, some prize, so arousal goes up. If somebody hits us, somebody scolds us, again we get very angry. Arousal will be very high. Arousal means stimulation, our blood pressure, our nervous functioning, and all that goes very high. Sometimes it is also very low. This is one parameter. Another parameter is for understanding the emotion is the valence. It's not moving. For me? Okay, valence. Valence is the attractiveness or non-attractiveness, whether you want it or not want it. It's a binding force. Now, for example, hydrogen will have a binding force with the oxygen, H2O, that is the valence. In the same way, now we have a good valence with some people and negative valence with other people. The same way for the emotions also. For example, if somebody is fighting very furious environment, we don't want to go there. We don't get attracted towards that. That's a negative valence. Positive valence means happiness, celebrations, festivals, all the good things which are happening. It's positive valence. And then put all our emotions into these 4 parameters. And the arousal is very high. It is attractive, that is happiness, excitement, surprise, wonder, and all those parts of the emotion come under this. It's a very, very positive. And our energy level also will go in a very high balance. Though high arousal is there, it doesn't impact us negatively. And then the valence is positive, but the energy is very low. For example, when we are calm, not doing anything, or relaxed, or doing meditation, A switch off and just resting, calm state, that is also very positive. Most of the healing, natural healing takes place when we are calm and relaxed. And now these two are very, very positive. And then the negative valence and the high arousal, anger, fear, frustration, irritation, rage, all those comes under that. When we are under that, energy is very, very high and the valence is negative, which means nobody likes it, nobody wants it. And you will not create a very, very positive working environment. You will only create negative working environment if you create anger and fear among the people. And then what could be this? Can somebody guess low arousal and negative valence? Anybody can share? I've given 3. You can guess now. Energy is also, arousal is very low and not interested, it is detached totally. And it's sadness, depressed. And the people who are in isolation, they're not interested in doing anything. They don't want a job. They're not interested. So these are the types of people who go into the suicide. So unfortunately, our India is also in a very, very bad situation in terms of this thing, and especially youth. 38% of the total suicide in India is among the youth. So which means you can know, so what is the valence there? Why they're getting into so much of negative valence and so much of low arousal? So what is happening to the society? What is happening to our type of work we do and the nature of our own expectations? I think this is what we need to address. So within ourselves, within our own family and in the society. And this is a very sad state of affairs. Though we are progressing very well technologically, in terms of human healing, we are very backward. And behavioral science, we are very not advanced so much. And now, so this one, why do we get so much of anger and fear? That's a survival zone. Survival means our life is threatened, our dignity is threatened, our survival is threatened. Now somewhere the value is threatened. So that is the time we get anger and fear. So when you're secure, when you're peaceful, when you're joyful, survival is not threatened. So you will somehow manage, you will somehow accept things. And then this is the burnout. Sad and depressed means they kept on doing lots of things, wasting, using lots of energy. Ultimately, they didn't get what they want. The meaning is not there. Even though whatever they have achieved, the meaning is not there. So the burnout. So burnout psychologically, burnout emotionally, burnout in terms of the meaning in life. And that is the zone, burnout zone. And then this one, recovery zone. For example, in a survival, when you are angry, fear, and you spend lots of energy there, you come to this domain. Recovery is calm and relaxed domain. That's why the meditation is advised for the people, meditation, calmness. So mindful meditation, all that is advised for the healing to recover from your. So actually from anger and fear, we come directly to the recovery zone. And now the last one, this is a performance zone. High performance, whatever you do, whether you do studies or work or whatever you do joyfully, you are excited in doing it, you're happy, which means you're performing very well. To the peak level you're performing. Even if when you are reading, you're reading happily, you're excited to understand something, some new knowledge, which means memory also will be very strong. It gets recorded in different picture modes, and memory will be recollecting will be very, very easy. And then connecting with one thing to the other, and then making it your own becomes very fast. And when you make the environment also very happy and excited, the entire team performance will be very high. So which means all this, from all this anger, sad and calm zone is fine, okay. From anger to sadness, as a manager, you need to keep working at how will I make my environment happy and excited. So that is when your job becomes easier. And this is the goal of all managers, should be the goal of all managers, to make the environment happy. And it's not that easy. And now, for example, all the mental illness, we can understand in these 4 dimensions. Now, for example, if the people are very low in their arousal, And also valence is negative, depressed. They require 2 types of treatment. One is help them to get high arousal. What do they give? They give dopamine. Dopamine gives you a big kick. And that's why people do partying and all that. Kick, high arousal, because they're depressed. And then valence, bring it to the right balance. That will bring the push there. So hormonal makeup in the body, approaches to understand the mental well-being of the human being. And this is the basic thing also to analyze and understand the mental well-being of a person. And then you can ask yourself, from morning till evening, what is the domain you live in most of the time? Either in a happy domain or a calm domain or sad or depressed. So much better even if you go and, approximately work out what percentage of the day, 24 hours, in a 24 hours, you are angry, what percentage you're sad, what percentage you're relaxed. So if you keep working at it consciously, definitely within a month, so you will get into the zone, whatever zone you want. Now, because whatever you're working in the conscious mind, it gets lodged into the unconscious and learning becomes permanent. Okay, so this is these 2 slides are very, very important. This one and this one. So if you understand these 2 slides very well, I think that is, you have a very good understanding of emotional intelligence, and you need to only translate it. Okay. So any questions so far? Now I'm getting into problem solving. How to manage our emotions. Any questions so far? Is it too tough or easy? Am I comprehensible? Am I making it simple? And what is your connect?
I guess, yes, sir, it's good so far.
It's good so far. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I'll take silence. There's no question. And the self-management, for example, I'll take one emotion. I was talking about the 3 powers we have. Emotions, thinking, and acting. And for example, emotion, say inadequacy, feeling of inadequacy. I don't have enough energy. I don't have this. I don't have that. So I'm not so good at it. And you also feel depressed. That is the emotion, negative. This will lead us to think pessimistic, cynical. Pessimistic means, no, whatever we do, it will not be successful. Now, I have tried empty number of times. It's not going to work. And this type of thinking we develop. Actually, by listening to a person for 5-10 minutes, you will understand what state the person is, whether he is cynical or optimistic, or pessimistic or optimistic. When you have these 2, that is depression and thinking is very cynical, and our action will be always destructive, either self-destructive or destruct the world around us. Self-destructive means get into bad habits and don't love your body, don't love your thoughts, don't love your ambitions, and then you destroy them. And then if anybody is here, like in this domain, how to bring a bridge. So now how to make it positive. Instead of depression and inadequacy, develop some enthusiasm. Let me see, let me try. Nothing is going to happen. Let me try again. So after all, even if you fail, it's not a failure. And that gives me an experience. That spirit, if you have, then enthusiasm will be there. Once there is an enthusiasm, self-confidence to do, take risk, our thinking becomes optimistic. Optimistic means whatever comes, I'll take it positively. Even if there is a failure, I'll take it as a lesson. And then realistic thinking we get. Realistic means if I do this, I'll get this. If I don't do this, I will not get this. What is workable? What is not workable? So you start thinking realistically. Now each day you keep on enhancing your behavior. Self-enhancement behavior comes in. So each day little improvement. So we can come out of this negative self-managing thing. And then if it is to do with relationship management, even with other people also, there can be negative, rage, aggression. Somebody has done some bad thing to us and we are very aggressive about them, very angry. Then our thinking becomes impaired because all the time we look at that person only negatively. See, this person is not good. He's coming now. He's coming only with the bad intention. That's way we keep on thinking, in an impaired way. Then aggressive, destructive behavior will show towards that person. Then how to build a bridge, how to make it positive, and then resolve with compassion. Understand that no human being is perfect. Everybody will make a mistake, and that fellow has also done a mistake. And then have a compassion. At that time, you start operating with your emotional intelligence thinking. What is his emotion now? Why he is behaving like this? What was it before? Is there any change? And how will I connect with them? What emotion shall I use? So all that faculty comes to your rescue and start using your emotional intelligence. And this is how it helps us to manage good relationship. And then you will have supportive, constructive behavior. Even though the other person is very bad and rogue, so you are not punishing yourself. You are not getting hooked with that negative thing. You are working supportive with a constructive behavior to change the person. If the person doesn't change, so hell with them. You leave them alone in a peaceful way and you are happy without getting disturbed. Okay. And then anger. How to manage? This is one example, one emotion I've taken. When do we get anger? When somebody does something to us and we don't accept it, and we become angry like this. We shout at them. Entire body keeps boiling. Okay. And now when we don't accept the other person, what the other person is doing, and then when we accept it, that is the time we stay calm, and that fellow is doing, why is he doing is, you start shifting your emotional intelligence, start using it to understand the other person. You calm down, you're not boiling, and you understand the other person, why he is doing like that, and how will I connect with them. So you'll be able to manage the anger better. Not by getting angry, not by shouting, but by staying calm and relaxed and connecting with that person. And then jealousy, how to convert jealousy into inspiration. Now, jealousy normally everybody will have. All humans will have all emotions. Some will have more jealousy than other people. Now, jealousy, what is it jealousy? Other people have something and I don't have. When we feel that I don't have it, so then we get a jealousy like this, we become very jealous. And then when I accept it, okay, that person has got it. Maybe he has got a good job, maybe he has got a good bungalow, maybe he has got a good car, some wealth creation and all that. How did that person do? How did he achieve? If you look at that person, maybe you get inspired also to become like that, to create like that without having jealousy. And now if it's jealousy, if we just keep on going with the jealousy, then it will hurt us, it will harm us, not the other person. Inspiration, you convert the jealousy into positive energy. And then this is also very important. Nowadays, people, even the married people, husband and wife are too far away. When the children go out for studies for a long distance and they're physically away. And some people actually lost the kith and kin. And now when we don't accept the physical reality of being away, and this is how we feel, I miss you, I miss you, I miss you. So, okay, now after the WhatsApp has come in, you can see lots of messages, people, maybe friends sending you, I miss you, miss you. Miss you becomes a vacuum. You see, look at that puppy. So it doesn't have positive energy to come out and act like. And now the same situation, when we accept it, this is the reality, it has happened and we are far away, you accept the reality, then your thinking shifts. I'm thinking of you. See, I'm thinking of you means the energy becomes very positive, higher level of energy. All the good things they have done to you, or all the good words they have spoken to you will come alive and that will give you energy. But in the first instance, when I miss you, even the energy you have gets depleted. It goes away. You become a vacuum. And this is how you just shift your thought, your emotion changes. Once your emotion changes, your thought also changes and your action changes. Okay. And now this is another scale, emotional, spiral. In the first one, you look at the bottommost, the contentment, number 7. You start the day or the year with contentment. Okay, at least I have this much. This is enough for me. So I'm lucky to have this much. I'm happy with it. And then if you have that positive vibration, then it keeps the spiral going upwards and upwards and upwards, and you will end up with joy and knowledge and enlightenment. And you appreciate the world around you. On the other way, the downward spiral is something like if you start with the boredom, not accept the things. Okay, what is this? There's no interest, and I'm not getting anything. And whatever you do, it's not be successful. Like that, the spiral goes downwards. We end up with grief and depression. Now, somewhere we have to tune ourselves into this positive thing. What do we start the day? Day or the hour, whatever. So from where do we start? You start positive, the spiral goes upwards. You start with negative emotion, goes downwards. At the end of the day, you feel really eased out of burnout. And now there's another remedy for this, rational emotive therapy. Now I'm getting time now. So I'm also cautiously watching another few slides to go. So this is earlier called RET, rational emotive therapy. Now it is called rational emotive behavioral therapy. There are 4 steps. A, B, C, D. A is an activating event. Something triggers you to get angry or happy or whatever. For your emotions, there is a trigger. Because of that, there is a consequence. Consequence is the emotion. And then you have to dispute the belief, not the consequence, not the activating event. So consequence has already happened. That's why you can't dispute it. Activating event is a natural thing which is happening. That also you can't. But which is in your control is the belief, the attitude. And example, I've taken one example. Somebody invites you to give a presentation in a big conference. Now imagine that this is the activating event. And your belief is that I'm not good at it, will mess it up, audience will laugh at me. And this is an irrational belief, irrational attitude and an opinion about yourself. And now this will lead to faster heartbeat, scared, worried, you feel sick. This is an unhealthy consequence and you try to avoid. And then you have to dispute this belief. How do you dispute it? We'll try and do my best. No one is perfect. I learn from the mistake. At least I can use my experience. Whatever experience I have, I use it. Though not for 15 minutes, at least for 5 minutes, I can do it. This is a rational one because nobody is perfect in this world. And now we are perfect to the extent we are. I think if you accept that, that becomes rational and then healthy consequence. And then you go and deliver a talk or you share your experience, you get a confidence, heartbeat goes off, you're lesser and you're calm and you feel very proud of going there and doing it. And you'll be wanting another opportunity. And then this is, give a presentation, you felt happy and proud about it. And this is what is emotional therapy. Rational emotive therapy is very easy. Anybody can apply it. And this is one of the very simple and fruitful exercises. Once you keep doing it every day like this, you maintain a lab record like. So on this, sometime I did it on 27th October. I put the date. Sometime something happened. And then there is a belief behind that. Whatever is your experience, you keep writing in this column. But 21 days, if you practice, it becomes a habit. After that, you need not have to maintain it. Once you're doing it consciously, so which means you're making an effort to change your core belief system. Once you do that, then it becomes a habit. Whatever becomes a habit, this is a good habit to do it. Like a laboratory record, you can maintain it if you're really having some problem to deal with. And then this is a good way to become highly emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent. And now remember always that not the situation which rules you, but how you think about the situation. Situation is the same for everybody. Some people will deal it very well, some people will collapse. That is because of how we think about the situation. And our thinking faculty is very strong. We can think either positively or negatively, so that we can choose the good. And now keep the balance. Keep the balance of the emotion and the brain, in the thought, in a balance. And now some of the ways to cope with the stress. You get the stress, emotion, you're angry, you're upset, you're burnout, or all that. Eat well, do exercises, laugh, and laugh also. Laugh therapy is there. Rest well and meditate. listen to the music. These are some of the quick ways to keep you happy, keep all the time happy and energized. When you do the exercise, any type of exercise, and these are the types of hormone gets released: endorphin, the pain relief, dopamine, motivation, attention. I'll go faster into it with serotonin, happy hormone. All the positive hormone gets, even if you do just 30 minutes to 1 hour a day, either walk, brisk walk, or cycling, or do anything, yoga, meditation, and then you get so much of benefit. And then brain also changes. It's 10, 20 minutes of walk, it changes like this. And then listen to the music. Music will generate oxytocin, dopamine, and well-being. Dopamine is a motivation and thing. Well-being, mental well-being. There's so many benefits in listening to the music. And our life perspective changes. And then meditation, practice being present. Meditation is nothing but focusing on your breathing and being in the now, here and now. And now boundary management. Look at presently, this I require a little bit of time. And living in the here and now is the boundary management. What is the time now? What is the task now? Which place am I in? What is my emotion? What is my role? If you focus on all these 5 in the here and now, that is an excellent meditation. Even if you're reading, if you look at it, reading becomes a meditation. Even if you're taking a bath, that becomes a meditation. You enjoy everything by being mindfully well. So all this helps us to secrete dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and endorphin, which relieves the pain, and day-night alertness cycle. So even the night is there, you get very good sleep, and you don't get a sleep in the daytime, so you're very alert in the day and night. And then, so this is how brain changes. And then laugh. Now somebody has done a humorous data. Child laughs at least 400 times a day. Somebody has discovered it. And now when we reach 35 years of age, it gets reduced to 15. Which means our laugh gets reduced, we become very serious people, target-oriented, result-oriented. And then laughter is the best medicine. It increases social bonding, immunity cells. It shifts the perspective, the way you look at the world. Stress hormone gets reduced. Endorphin gets increases. And that's why it's a very beautiful, very good medicine. And then happiness is the best medicine. So be happy. And you become highly intelligent emotionally. Okay, and that is the end of it. So now the time is up. If the admin can extend it maybe for another 5 minutes or so, whatever. So we will have some question time. Question time. 4 or 5 people quickly reflect, either through question or through the session about what was the learning for you.
Students, if you have any questions, please come on, speak up. You can unmute yourself and raise your questions.
Yes.
Sir.
Please, go ahead.
Sir, I'm asking what essentials do we need while using the bridge? Like when we are coming from negative to positive,
Yes.
what essentials do we need? Because as insight is there, we know that we are in negative. Yes. So,
Yes.
sir, how we come
One
to...
is that, why am I giving negative to myself? So you ask that question, am I not worth good things? Why am I keeping this negative? So the self-worth, feeling of self-worth itself will push us to have positive things. If somebody is bugging us down, why am I allowing the person to bug us down? So let me have a positive look. I am not going to swallow it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this starts from the self-worth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Self-value, self-worth, self-dignity. If you have that, don't allow bad things to come onto you. That's it. Okay, that is the keynote thing, I think, very essential core thing. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So there is a question from one of the participants.
Yes,
she is asking, what is the difference between emotional intelligence and emotional empathy?
Okay, empathy is one of the emotions. Emotional intelligence is the entire gamut of understanding my emotion, managing my emotion, understanding others' emotions, manage and helping them change emotions or having a relationship, relationship management. Empathy is one aspect which will help us to understand the other person better, to understand other person's empathy, why that fellow is angry, why that fellow is sad, why that fellow is all the time grumbling or shouting. The empathy will help us to understand a person as he is or she is. Empathy is one emotion. Emotional intelligence is the whole gamut of emotions. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Like empathy is something like, sympathy is something like happiness, something like frustration, something like irritation. That is one emotion. It's an excellent emotion and very healthy emotion to have, especially for a helping profession like doctors, counselors, teachers, mothers, parents, counselors. Empathy is the basic quality. If you don't have an empathy, you can't become people's person. It's a very good question. Okay, empathy. If you go to etymology, em is in, pathy is feeling. In the feeling of the other is empathy. That's one emotion. Yeah, next question.
Sir, I have a very a practical question to ask.
What
So
question?
basically, kind of a practical question.
Okay,
So
good.
basically, it won't be easy for us to stay positive under some circumstances. Like
Yes.
every situations won't ask us to be positive. We'll be in a lot of thoughts which kind of drag us to negative thought itself. So
Yes.
don't you think the cool of time or giving
Yes.
ourselves time and a space to
Yes.
get in before getting into a positive or forcing
Yes.
ourselves to be into a positive environment, giving ourselves as a time is also one of
Yes.
the things that we should do.
Yes. What is the question?
So that's my questions are
Okay,
not
it is not easy to manage. It is not easy to.
yeah.
Okay, you are right. You are 101% right. And now somebody has done a study of human thoughts. Each day we get about 40 to 70,000 thoughts. Unfortunately, 80 to 90% of them either negative or repeated thoughts. Then you can imagine the volume of things go inside our mind. And when it is negative, thought becomes also is negative or repetitive. Definitely our emotion also is negative. You're right, but it is a big challenge, especially in the modern world. It is a big challenge because we are uprooted from the ecological living and we are getting into the high technological world and we feel isolated and lots of rat race is going on. But still you have to ask a question. Okay, so do I have to live with this or do I have to change? What do I want in life? Either want this material or all these pressures in the environment, or do I manage it well? And if you keep doing it repeatedly, it becomes a habit and you can definitely manage it well in the course of time. Minimum is 21 days. 21 days is because there's a critical time required for the learning to get internalized to become a habit. If you do it, it becomes a habit. And now it is not that you can create 100% positive environment all the time, internal environment and the social environment all the time. But each time we get into that negative slot, how soon can I come out of it? How soon can I manage it? And that is the question. That is the challenge.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it. Even the Swamijis, the sannyasis who are in the ashram keeps also getting lots of challenges. So for them is, how am I going to manage minute to minute? This environment is coming, how am I going to deal with it now? So each day you become better. That's it. You may not be expert 100% over it, but each day will be better.
Yeah.
And we don't get ruled by the external world.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that is also to add on to it. There's a locus of control. Do the environment rules me or do I rule my life? How much of it I rule? How much is the environment ruling? If you surrender yourself to the environment, because we become nullified. You're not human beings, no power within me. And then at least have some 60 to 70% of inner power. Locus of control is inside me, within me, in my thoughts, in my thinking, in my belief. And that's what is all about behavioral science now.
Yeah, true.
Good. Yes.
Students, any more questions? Any more
There's
questions?
something in the chat box?
No, sir.
No, nothing.
No, sir.
Nothing. Right.
There was only one question.
Okay. Okay. Any reflections? How was it? Was it useful? If it is
Sir, it
useful,
was a
how-
great, sir, it was a great presentation.
Okay. Useful. Right.
So thank you so much, sir,
Thank you.
for your
Thank you, thank
valuable
you.
time, and thank you all the
you.
participants. If you have any
Thank you.
question, yeah, you have my number. I'm Joyce, you might be knowing. So kindly, you can either call me or WhatsApp me, or you also have our email ID, admissions email ID. So you can drop in your email. I'll get back to Madhya sir and try to get the answer and reach out to you back.
Good,
for
good,
the
good.
same.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and thanks
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
great
Thank you.
weekend.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Have
you,
a
sir.
good day.
Thank you.
Weekend.